evening, everybody. Just wait for everybody to join us. So I'll just, while I'm waiting for, if you're there, hi, evening. Let me know via a message in the chat. I can see the chat. The chat is up. While I'm waiting for everybody to join us, I'm just going to cut this tracing paper down. Hi, Angie Brown. And let me get my wavy scissors, which is, I don't know. I can see 5 people are watching. Wavy scissors, that's what it was after. Hi, Ava. Hi, Chris. Chris is actually in the hall. I will tell him you said hello, but he's in the hall at the minute, listening to his computer games. That's what he's doing. I'm gonna be doing something. Hi, Angie Casey. Gonna be doing something a little bit different tonight. Now you've seen me make projects. You know, I come on sort of every week and you see my videos of my makes, but I thought to do something a little bit different tonight. Hi, Fiona. Are you? Oh wow, you're making a fairy. Yes, you do see fairies. This is the fairy. Well, there's one and then there's 2. I'm going to be doing a little bit something different tonight. And thank you, Fiona, for your videos. I have been hooked on those videos you've sent over. And I will show you what I've done since I last spoke to you a couple of days ago about a journal. The little, like I say, I'm going to be doing something different tonight. Every week I come on and make projects, and you've seen me make some projects in my videos, and I thought, do you know what, I could sit here, and I have got a project in mind to make. I could sit here and make a project, but at the moment I've been really inspired to make a junk journal. I am in the middle of making one. I will show you what I've come up with so far. But I decided tonight, because when you're making a junk journal, or it could be like a loaded envelope, loaded purse, you could even put these accessories on your projects. It doesn't matter where you go with them. I wanted to make little knickknacks. I'm calling them knickknacks. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 little knickknacks that I'm going to be sort of making tonight with you all. Using various different things. As you can see, bottle caps. I'll show you what I've got on my table before I begin. So right at the very start, I was cutting out, this is tracing paper. I also got given to this week by Dawn Marie some gorgeous pretty napkins. So I have some beautiful napkins there. This is one of the accessories that I will be making. I haven't quite finished her yet, but I'll show you how I've done that. This one I did yesterday, but I haven't printed off the same image because I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I've got some bottle tops on my table. I've got some stamps. I've got a butterfly and a bow stamp. I've also got various different colours of acetate. I have a clear bag, a paper bag. I've also got an old book. So proper knick-knack nooks. And I'll show you my journal. So far, this is what I've been making. I'm making a pocket with fairy wings at the top. Oh wow, Fiona, that sounds amazing. I love fairies. I'd love to see a picture of it. That sounds amazing. She's making a pocket with fairy wings at the top. Beautiful. So this is my junk journal so far. I want to make a bigger version. I sort of didn't realise how small I went. I used cardboard as my cover, and I went to do a little bit bigger, but when I pierced the holes didn't match up to the centre of the book, the middle hole didn't match up to the centre of the book, so I had to cut the cover down. Otherwise it wouldn't have, in my eyes, it wouldn't have been straight. So I cut the cover down, and this measures, so there's like 2 little flaps on there, which if I tuck them in, literally it's only a small book. It measures 3.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. The spine is 1 inch by 5, and then 3.5 by 5 on the back. This is my junk journal so far. This is why I wanted to do like a knick-knack-nookie video, if that makes sense. So I tea stained some pages. These little flaps, some are stuck down all the way, some are not. I quite like the idea of them. I've used like various different pages. We're going to be making that kind of an envelope tonight. I actually made the envelope, and then I haven't finished making these tags, but made the envelope to go in the tag. I've put like little pieces of fabric on the end of papers, which I like the idea of that one. And then I had these given to me by Avril, which I put on the end of my bag. Some of the papers are tea stained, some of them aren't. This has got into glue. Brilliant, yo. Needless to say. Can't believe I was on glue. Never mind. It'll dry. So I have some checks that were given to me. Hi Debbie. Check to make the holes line up is to use a strip of graph paper and mark out the holes. Graph paper. Now, I didn't think of that. That's a good idea, because I was sort of doing it by eye, and the middle hole didn't line up, and I'm like, oh no, I'll have to cut it down. It just really irritated me. I could have done it and had 4 holes. What basically had happened was I put the top one in, so the top one was here. Then I put the bottom one in, and then I went to do the middle one because I was doing it by eye, and the middle one was closer to the bottom hole than it was, so it wasn't in between. And I thought, well, if I put a 4th over there, the width of between each hole wasn't even, and it just sort of went out completely at sync. So what I thought was, if I cut the top hole off, then all of them are in line, and that's what I did. This is a little book. I don't think I'll complete this book. I don't know whether I will, because what I'm tending to do, this is my idea, is use this book for my inspiration. I'm going to make a bigger version, and I know what I've got in mind. I'm going to make a woodland junk journal. I can't say for what exactly, but that's what I'm going to be making. And this little book is going to be, I'm going to be putting things in, and if it doesn't fit right, then I haven't wrecked my bigger one. I've only done it in here. So this will sort of become, over time, it'll become like my inspiration for doing junk journals and how to do different pages. That's my idea behind it. So that's my idea behind it. Hi Debbie, it was so nice to hear. Oh bless. Right, so I've done little tabs, fabric tabs. I'm going to be making that tonight with you. I got asked how I'm going to make that, so I'm going to be making them, but I'm going to be turning them into A pages and B tags. I'm going to be making them with you tonight. I've tea stained this page, but like I said, it's going to be my little tester book. So I've started to punch some stamps at the bottom. Then I obviously doilies, and then I put some more of these corner slips in. Yeah, this one's stuck all the way, so this is my little tuck spot. Then I got like fabric on the end of my pages. I used actually, Fiona, I watched your video on your junk journal, and you give me inspiration of using the cupcakes on the end of your pages. So like I say, it was just inspiration. I thought, well, that's a good idea because you used it as tuck spot. so I put one of them on. I was after watching Fiona's video, that was. I've also done my, used my wavy scissors to give this a bit of a different look. These are all tea stained. Again, another, this is stuck all the way, otherwise it would have been a little tuck spot. I always get confused when I'm sticking them down. This is actually a belly band, but I put a little fabric tag on the bottom as well. Doily, again, pieces of fabric. This is the dead in the center, this is the middle page, and I love how the pages are curling. I love that effect. Put them in, doily obviously, and then as I've gone through the book, I've put different things in. Now this is a little tuck spot. I've left, there's a little gap there to tuck something in. Again, some checks, and I've put fabric on the end of the checks. Again, paper bag. I've put these banners on the bag, so the bag is something to put in, and then I've got like a little tuck spot on the bag itself. A belly band using some lace. Again, a little tuck spot if I wanted to create that. Went with my stamps and my wavy scissors. This was a little, I decided, because I was looking at, like, there's loads of videos on junk journals on YouTube, and everybody was doing them in the corners, and I thought, well, what would it be like on the end? So I've put one on the end, and then I've used, this is a little gap, so there's a little gap to put something in. So I've left that little gap, and I thought, well, that's a cute idea, because then it becomes sort of a diamond shape, and I've got a little tuck spot if I decide to put that there. Some of the back pages I haven't finished putting like my bits and pieces on. This is all tea stained. Again, that little tuck. Now I don't know whether this one is, no it isn't. I'm able to tuck something in that if I wanted to. I think I did the pages too small, but as I say, I wanted to use this book as a learning process before I decided to give the real thing a big go. So again, used a cupcake to tuck that in. I've made a belly band on the last page. Oh, and I made one of these diamond shapes so I can tuck something in there. So that's my junk journal at the moment. It is looking quite full, but I'm not, that's my sort of inspiration. I love the textiles with papers. I am too. I'm with you on that one, Fiona. I definitely love the textiles, especially when you're, I love working with fabric and I love working with pretty paper. And to mix the both, I'm going to really try hard in the book that I'm going to be creating. I'm going to try hard to mix the both and create, because I want to be able, in my junk journal that I'm going to make, I want to be able to sort of, everything you touch or everything you feel has a different texture, or it's something completely different. So I definitely want that in my junk journal. So this is what leads me on to tonight. So I thought, well, I want to be able to, there's a couple of things, like, I know there's loads of videos on like little accessories, but I'm going to be calling these little knickknacks. Like you say, I've got 6 little knickknacks to show you. I'm going to start off with the Mod Podge. I'm going to start off, because if I do this one, it'll hopefully be dry and I'll be able to go back to it. So, I bought this book. It's an old book. I was actually thinking of using the cover for my proper junk journal, to take the cover off and use the cover. That's my thought anyway. But anyway, onto my little napkin tags and accessories. Okay, so you take a page out. We're going to do 2 pages. Let's do 2. Why not? Okay. And you need some Mod Podge, and I need a brush. I'm going to use my gorgeous napkins that got given to me this week. So let's pick one. I'm going to be using, let me see which ones I have. That one seems quite pretty. How am I able to cut that down to sections? That one. No, we'll use this one. I tell you why, because in this napkin, there's, if you have a look, there's already, they've got like little tags they've built up. You could use the bigger ones, but as I'm making tags out of them, I think we're going to use this napkin. So first things first, this is the same image twice, printed twice. I'm going to cut this in half. Won't need the full half of it. Put that to one side. Right, decide which piece you want. I think I like the middle more. I was going to go with the bird, but I think I like the middle more. I like all of it, but I think how to work with. Okay, so now I saw this idea on YouTube. This isn't my idea. I'm not going to claim it as my idea. And I've done it a couple of times now and they come out beautiful. And I don't know, I can't remember for the life of me what the lady's name was. I really can't. And I do apologise, but there's so much. See, on YouTube you get so much inspiration, and I spent hours and hours and hours watching videos. And you know, if you like, for example, I do spend hours and hours and hours and I get really inspired. I will be inspired by somebody, and if I decide to carry their idea into my work, I will always say where it's come from, because at the end of the day, as many videos as you watch, you've actually got to sit down and do it yourself. It's one of them. And it was that lady that you mentioned to me that said that. And she was true in what she said, and I can't think of her name. My mind's gone blank tonight, so I do apologise. I'm glad you had a lovely birthday. Oh, thank you, Fiona. Right. The napkin is split into sort of 2 bits of tissue. You can keep the white. I've kept the white before. That's it, Gail. Thank you, Fiona. I've kept the white before, and the white's really nice. And I'm going to keep the white for the other page. But for this page alone, I'm going to lay this down. And when it dries, this is why I've done it first, because by the time I go back to it, it'll be completely dry. Be gentle when you're putting the Mod Podge on. If it rips, it rips. Don't panic about it unless you want it. If you don't want it to rip. When I'm doing this, I quite like to put as much Mod Podge as not loads obviously, but you can see my brush is quite full. And the reason for that is because the napkin is really thin, and I want to make, well, tags. I've made tags out of these before, and I've made little envelopes before out of this process. Because the page is quite thin and the napkin's quite thin, it needs something to be, I need to be able to put the glue on for it to dry, to almost give it a second layer without me adding card or paper or anything like that. So I'm going to leave that one dry, and I'm going to do the same to this. I'm going to get a tray in a second. So I'm going to actually use the white, and I tell you why I'm going to use the white. The white comes up really nice. I use pages from the book because of the words. It doesn't matter what book you're using, it's the words behind it, and it comes up through the napkin. So this would be my first little knick-knack that I'm definitely going to be doing in my junk journal. Right, so I've laid it completely. I'm going to put this on top, and you're thinking, oh, there's no page, there's no picture. That's completely fine, because it's completely fine because when this dries, I can add a picture. I could possibly, you can actually write on your napkins once you've glued them onto your pages. Right, I think that would be, right, I'm going to get a tray because I need one. Chris, where's that tray you had the other day?
Oh, on the 3-part.
Right.
3-part tray.
Yeah, no.
Laptop tray.
Don't worry, I got one. So I'm going to leave them dry behind me. And I'm going to move on to my second knick-knack. Let's get all the glue from my table first. Right, let's move on to the second knick-knack. So the second one I'm going to be doing is this. Now I haven't quite finished it because she obviously needs shaping. And the way I did that was, let me find a image. So, would you prefer me to do a butterfly image, a fairy image, or would you like me to do a butterfly image? Fairy or butterfly? Because I have a butterfly image there and that one there. That would be quite pretty. And those two there. Or I could do a fairy image. So what would you prefer, fairy image or butterfly image? Especially on, we're going to be doing it on acetate first. Fiona says butterfly. Butterfly or butterfly. Okay, that's easy. Right, so Angie says butterfly. Right, okay. Some acetate. Now, you're not going to be able to see this because obviously white on white. So I'm going to get a piece of paper. I don't care what colour it is. I want you to be able to see it. Otherwise, what's the point? Let me think. What have I got around here? Chris, give me a minute. Pass me a piece of paper up there. Any paper, just dark piece of paper. Something dark.
Or a card.
No, I don't want white. I want something dark. Any card, just something dark to pass. Yeah, I don't know. I'll lift it up for you to see because I don't even know whether you can see it on that. Can you all see it on there? I'll try and be really careful. Butterfly you mentioned, right. Let's stick with, let's do one of these. So I'm going to do this little one by here, right. There's one there and then there's two just of the same thing here. Right. Now, this involves the fussy cut, obviously. So I'm going to just yacker on while I cut this out. So what's everybody been up to today? Anybody been crafting? I went out for 5 minutes today. My mum's. Didn't do nothing much after that. Wanted to craft, but I didn't get around to doing it. Working on a fabric postcard, are you, Debbie? Are you doing it vintage style? And my next question is, I know full of questions, are you going to be showing it on your videos? So I've got 3 butterflies here because I want to be able to show you what I'm going to be doing. They're all different sizes. You can print some off the internet, so you don't have to use, I'm just using what I got. If I find if I haven't got an image that I want or don't want, I go onto Pinterest and I type in, so I was looking for a vintage image, I'll type in vintage image printable, and then all the printable images will come up that you need. Fiona says, in a pan this morning, hoping can do something later. Oh yeah, you ahead of time, Fiona. You're Australia? America? Maybe? Right. Maybe says I'll show one video. And oh, definitely. I can't wait for you to do that. Right. I have got 3 little butterflies. So I fussy cut it out. Could have been a bit neater, but I won't because I want to be able to show you. They're all different sizes. And I'm going to get a... That's Mod Podge. I'm going to get a small brush. This one. I'm using tacky glue because it dries clear. Mod Podge is a bit too... Tacky glue, I find, is thick glue. I will use it on my miniatures. I will use it on anything like that miniature wise in my projects, because I find that even though it's a thicker glue, it's clear. Whereas the Mod Podge, now I've got the matte, but you can buy the gloss. This is dries clear, but it gives you a glossy effect. Not as much as if you would buy a gloss matte, a Mod Podge, but it definitely gives you a glossy effect. So on these, I don't particularly want a glossy effect because I'm going to be doing something different to them. So what I've done is I've got a little tray, like a little flower tray. You can buy these online, and I bought a few the other day. And I've put some tacky glue in there. So I am going to glue these down with my tacky glue. Now, with hot glue, I tend not to use hot glue when I'm paper crafting, especially because whereas with you using your wet glue, hot glue, you've got 0 time to sort of move it around. Once it's stuck in one place, it's stuck. If you're using acetate like I am now, and you was to use hot glue, it would show the other side, whereas this doesn't. It dries clear and you get a really nice effect. So I'm going to I don't know whether to go this way or that way. Actually, let's do it. Let's just go like there. So one's there. Australia, I thought you was. Thought I heard an Australia. I was sure. When I was watching you earlier, I thought, I'm sure that's Australia, but I don't want to say in case I'm wrong. Right, I'm gonna go there. And then the tiny little one the other side. Oops. Okay, that's all I need for my glue at the moment. Now I'm going to cut this, just cut it down ever so slightly because I want to take it through my big shot. I'm going to cut a circle out of this and then I'll add something else. So the die that I'm going to be using is... These pages are drawn nicely. Right, the die that I'll be using. Let's have a look what we have in my thing. I got these dies off eBay. Oh, off eBay, and for £2 the other day. And they came, and one says let's party, the other one says invitation, the other one says celebrate, and then the last one says cheers. And they come out beautiful, really, really do come out. I have tried them on a piece of paper, but I don't know whether you can be able to see it. So you can sort of see it. I don't know whether you can. That's the back. Don't know whether you can see it. It is raised. There, you can sort of see it there and there. But if I was using this paper, I'd go over the words and it'd bring it up. But yeah, £2 on eBay, tattered lace. And I was like, I'm having one of them. And this one, which is a scalloped edge, and literally gives you a scalloped edge border. £2 off eBay, you just bid, and then you get them. If, of course, that's if you want them. So I'm going to be using, I don't think it's a tattered lace die. I'm going to be using a Spellbinders die because I want the circle bit of the die. And for my birthday, oh, I wanted to show you this. You know, last week I was going on about embossing. I know we're going off subject, but I always do. And I said to get the most out of your die, you can buy what's called an impressions mat and a silicone mat, and that'll give you the ridges on the die that not necessarily an embossing folder would pick up. So if you buy an impressions pad, now I thought they only came in black, little did I think. Now these impressions mat, you might have heard people call them a knock pad because it's tough pad. It's literally, this goes in the shot instead of your top plate, which is why it's so hard. But the silicone mat I'm still waiting for, which is why I'm not going to be doing an embossing thing as of yet, because I'm waiting for my silicone mat to come through the door. But I just wanted to share that with you. And that impression pad was £7.99 off eBay, free delivery. It wasn't too bad. Now, because I want some of these dies to have a little bit of shape, I'm going to be using, so I have my non-cutting mat. I'm not going to bring my big shot over because it's a bit awkward. I'm going to be using, which one should we have? So that one's too small, so I want it to go around the butterflies. This might be a bit too small. That one's a bit too small. Let's try this one. That one, oh, I don't know. Let's try the bigger one then. Yeah, that's pretty. That gives me enough room. Can everybody see that? I know you can't see the acetate, but I promise you it's there. But yeah, once I have the silicone mat, because I had the silicone, I had the impressions pad and the silicone pad for my birthday. Chris bought me them. So I have my non-cutting mat. Obviously there'll be, this is how it'll go in my machine. Let me show you. Like I said, I'm not going to bring the machine over. This is how I'll go in my machine. So multi-purpose flat form, my non-cutting pad, which is marked non-cutting pad, my acetate, which will go on top of that, the die facing up towards the ceiling, and then my pad that I have cut into. So I'm going to move that over. That's a pretty die, the big one. Yes, this is a Spellbinders die. Now, I believe, I may be mistaken, but Spellbinder dies are the only dies that do all three. If I'm mistaken and I'm wrong, please correct me. But I believe that's what they are, because they cut, emboss and stencil. So to make the most of the embossing bit of these dies, you would need the impression pad and the silicone pad. You can also use them as stenciling, and then inside, because it's 6 different shapes, I had these from, did I have them? eBay. No, not eBay, Hobbycraft. But you can find them on eBay, and the code for this, let me see if I can find the code. There it is. S4124. There's the code. So if you went into eBay or Amazon, they'll pick you'll sort of, it'll come up straight away. So that's how I'm going to put it in my machine. And roll over to my machine and I'm going to cut it. Oh wait, I've done that the wrong way. So it's the dye first, then the acetate. I was thinking when I was putting this through the machine, I'm thinking, that's not going to be able to cut nothing. So that crack in your ear means that it's cutting. Don't ever think that that means that you're breaking the machine, because it doesn't. It just means that it's cutting it. Okay, so we have, can you all see the scalloped edge? I'm really trying, there. So you can all see that the scalloped edge has done it. So the dye is actually done what I've asked it to do. I'll move these back across. And then the dye on top of that, because I might even go back to that dye in a second. Now to finish this off, I'm going to leave it on the book because you'll be able to see it on the book better. I will need my tacky glue again. And this time I'll need my tray and some fine glitter. Okay, so with the bristles, on your brush, instead of using the whole brush, I just want to use the bristles on it. So dab the bristles into the glue, get the excess off because you don't want too much. And I'm just gonna use my brush a bit like a stenciling brush. Right, take it over to my tray. I'm going to move that over there on this brush, otherwise it'll get caught up. And I have a stopper in this, which to take that out. Now I'm going to use the shaker bit of the thing. See how pretty that looks, and when that dries, that'll dry a bit like that one, but I haven't cut her out, but it'll dry something like that one. See? And you can add hole up top, which I'm gonna do in a second. So that's that one. I'm gonna leave my glitter tray open. So to put a hole in the top of that, you would take your cut, and I've still got it, a pokey tool. Just poke a hole through the top. Where's those pretty laces I have? I'm going to use, let's use something really, I want something really thin. Could use this one. How about this? So find the hole. Now if you're struggling with the hole, feed the fabric or whatever you've used through, hold the fabric through the end, and then you've got a little tag. You can do them any shape you like. You could add pictures to them. You could even add your napkins to them. But to go in a journal or even a loaded pocket, that would look really pretty and something unusual. You can, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I would have done. I'm going to use, let's use this paper because it's quite dark and it'll go with the butterflies. I'm going to punch some butterflies out. My dog gets awful upset when I start punching. Oh, she's off because I started punching. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue just in the centre. She's not happy with me now because I've punched the butterflies out. She hates the noise of the butterflies. And I'm going to put one there. And then I'm going to put one on top. Even though it's little, I'm still going to put it on top. See? And you can put a sentiment on. I mean, like I say, I'm only giving you ideas. So that would be my first little knick-knack. I'm going to see if those napkins are dry. Because if they are, yeah, they are dry. Dryish. I'm going to do the other side. Now, to do the other side, you could either Mod Podge the back and then put your napkin on the back and then start again. Or what I'm going to do, because I want to be able to use mine. It's not quite dry, but it's sort of tacky, which is okay. I'm going to fold mine in half. Fold it in half, just there, like so. So I make a third tag, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to cut this down. Cut that down. So, where's my Mod Podge? So my Mod Podge brush. So I'm going to put, where I want that fold to be, I'm just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on the back and then fold it. Now you could put, this is what I've done before in the past. I've got two sort of nice tags out of them. I'm going to give that another coating of, because I've stuck it down, another coating of Mod Podge just to reinforce that glue. I'll let that dry, and then this side, because I've got that sort of nice image, now I could cut this section out straight. If I straighten that edge up, because I can't stand straight edges, don't know what it is, and I cut it there, that would be like a small tag maybe. And then I'm going to leave this one as it is. I'm going to leave the writing on the back. And you know how I said we could use, I don't even know where I've put it now, the clear, let's take it off the back here, the clear tissue paper. There. There's one. Right, Mod Podge it. Or you could leave the writing on the back, totally up to you. You could do anything you wanted to do with these. They're so much fun to make. Right, I'm going to leave them dry over there now. That one is done, so we're going to mess about with that in a sec. With these I'm going to leave dry over there. So that one has got that on the side, but you could put that in your book, you could fold it, you could hang it. There's loads you could do with these, but I'm going to leave them dry over there. That little one we can mess about with. Right, the little one. Where's my wavy scissors? It is. So, I quite like the flower on it. That's why I wanted to keep it as it was. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a nice edge. Now when I watched like I say, this isn't my idea, but when I watched the lady do this, she did the whole napkin. Now like I say, when we watch videos on YouTube, we break down what we want to use and we'll find ways to make things easier for ourselves. So when I watched this, she did the whole page. She covered the entire thing. I haven't done anything to that one. I'll show you that in a sec. She covered the entire thing. So I wanted to be able to, because I've got napkins that I've got like different patterns on, I wanted to be able to break it down even more. So I broke that down now, and I'm going to put, I'm just looking in my little lace box. Sorry guys, I forget that you can't see what I'm doing. Let's put something like this on the back, and I'm going to be using fabric glue for this. So let's cut that to there. I've got this fabric glue to use. Oops. Right, and then on the back, like I said, I've kept the white paper there. I'm going to put a little bit of lace just on the back. I'm going to use my fabric tack glue and just glue this down. Cut this off. Just glue it down. And that would be a little tag to put in my book, and I could add like little pearls, which I'm going to do in a second. So far we have created this clear tag. Hiya Laurel, nice wildflower, it is beautiful. We've created the napkins. I've showed you how to break the napkins down. Now the clear ones, this one's almost dry. Where's those? I'm going to use some, I love doing these flat backs. Fabric tag. And I'm just going to put two little flat backs. I don't want them really big. Not that one, no, it's too small. Come on. I keep all my flat backs in here. I've been keeping them all in one pot so I know where they are. There, look. Can you see how pretty that is? So that would be our second one. Now I'm going to show you how to do something on this. Know how I said before, you don't really need to put an image on. You can use just the napkin and the wording as it was. Now why I put the napkin on and why I haven't left it as a page is because, go wet at the top, is because I wanted the wording behind it. So do something. I'm going to get my stamps for this. There's my stamping block, and we're going to go, I'm going to put this gorgeous flower on. I need quite a big, right, let's go vintage photo. Table's covered at the moment, but that's what a crafting's all about, hey? Right, so I'm going to put lots of ink on this flower. because it's a big flower, that's why I'm making sure that I've got enough ink on there. And I'm going to go just here. Now, I got a funny feeling, oh, it did come up. I didn't think it would, because it was too big. So I'm going to use a little bit now, a bit. So this would, again, it's just, you know, like a little knickknacks. See? And then you could add, like, you could add anything to that if you wanted to add. Now, I got these from, let me show you. I've got these from Pinterest. And I'm going to put, I don't want to cover that too much. I'm going to put that there because I quite like the idea of it being something different. Or if I hadn't put the flowers on, I could have put it in the centre, or I could have put it, might even put it at an angle, because I quite like the flowers at the bottom. Let's do these two. I don't know. I don't even think I'm going to put that there. I think I'm going to leave that as it is. Now all I'm going to do with that one, because I quite like the stamping effect. I don't know, what would you guys do? Would you put the image? Do you think I ought to put the image on? Or do you think I should keep as is, just with the stamps? And don't forget, I used the clear part of the napkin to do this. And so it's there, look, see how beautiful that's turned out. I quite like that. Sweet images. I like the stamped flowers. I do as well. Now these stamped flowers came with a magazine. I think I'm going to stick with the stamped flowers, and then if you wanted to Mod Podge the back, you could. It would leave you with a bit of a shine. It would actually, I'm going to leave my stamp dry a bit, and I am actually going to do that, leave it dry over there. So that's my third little knick-knack. Now I did say I had 6, so I'm going to do the other 2. So the other one I have for you, I'm just going to move the rubbish, otherwise I'm going to get caught up in the rubbish and things are going to start falling, which they're doing. The other one I have for you is using bottle caps. Now, does anybody know how to make embellishments using bottle caps? Does anybody know how to make embellishments using bottle caps? Only bottle caps, nothing more. Anybody know how to make them? Got it bottom right side. I think I'm going to leave it like it as is. I might even, with my foam pad, while I'm waiting for a reply, I'm going to pierce. I don't know whether to pierce a hole through. Actually, I'm not going to pierce a hole through because it's going to go in the giveaway pot and you might not want a hole through it. Does anybody know how to do images on a bottle cap? Shall I show you? Right, first of all, you'll need some bottle caps. I got sent these from Shirley. There was, I don't know, I think there was 10 in a bag. And this is how you do it. So you get your bottle cap and I need to get one out to show you. Now I did this before I came on live because otherwise it would have been really noisy to do. Now, your bottle cap has got like a ridged edge. Can you see the raised edge? It's quite, well, it's not sharp, but when you put your finger over it, you can feel it. This one is almost like a plate. Look looks kind of a plate you may find in a pub. So what I've done is this. I have banged, I've taken my bottle cap. You need to put it on something. A glass, don't put it on your glass mat because you'll shatter your glass mat. But for me, you hammer around the edges. Chris, my video is buffering. You hammer around the edges until you get this. And it will go flat, but it does take a little bit of, you know, bit of pressure, but it will go flat like this. Once you've got it like this, take a real sharp pokey tool. I've got something like this. And you create a hole at the top. Once you've got that far, this is what you do next. Now I'm going to use one of these images, I think. Again, I'm going to fussy cut one of these images out. So grab your bottle cap and I'm going to do that one. I'm going to go in the center and do that one, I think. Okay, so this one. Okay, so once you got your image, check that it will fit. Now it will fit if I cut some off at the bottom, which will be fine. And fussy cut around your image. Once you fussy cut it around your image, you'll get a better understanding how big your image actually is. Because I've printed again, these images came from Pinterest. I put in woodland images. I actually put that in and it came up. And you'll need some cards as well when you print these off. Otherwise you'll find it won't stick. Oh, it's better now. Oh, brilliant. I'm so glad you'll be able to see. Right. So there's my image. It just about fits. Let me see if I can pick. Don't want anything too dark. What about that one over there? That's quite nice. Right. I'm holding it underneath and I'm just going to follow the shape of the plate. There. So I've got my image there. So the inside of the image, I'll use that for something else. It won't go to waste. The inside of the image, that'll be my embellishment, my plate. If you've got it looking like that, if it looks like an actual bottle cap, like this, then you need to flatten it down to create your plate. I printed the same images, did you? See? They are really nice images. Off Pinterest I had mine off. Right, I'm going to stick this again with tacky glue. I could stick it with Mod Podge, but I'm choosing tacky glue. Now I'm going to put the glue on the back of the image, which is nothing sort of new, and I'm going to flick it over, and I want the top of the image to be where that hole is. It's going to go something like so, and it will go in just if it does sort of decides to pop, which it is doing for me at the minute. Just make a little pressure through your thumb onto the plate, because otherwise what will happen is when it dries, it'll have this air bubble in the center, and once it dries you won't be able to take it off to put it back on. Right, so I've got that now. I'm going to do the other one while that one dries. So I'm going to do that image but there, just that one. I'm going to cut that across there. Will that fit, or have I cut it too short? No, I've cut it too short. Oh damn. Right, let me see. Got that one. There, that one's better. So, image the bottom of the plate facing the ceiling. And spin it around. Oh, a little bit there that will flick up. You could use you could use Coca-Cola bottle caps. Doesn't necessarily have to be, you can buy plain ones, but you could also recycle the ones you've got in the house. If you wanted to do something like this, it doesn't you don't necessarily have to go out and buy shop board. That's what I'm trying to say. And I got a little bit more to do on this edge. Or have I? No, I haven't. Right, so there's the first one. Where's my glue gun? Oh, no, this is the brush I was using. So again, I'm going to get lots of tacky glue at the bottom. How do you get them off Pinterest? Well, you go on to, you sign yourself up. Well, you can print them, but I find if you sign yourself up onto Pinterest and make an account for yourself, you can create your own folders. Once you've got your folders, you've then got inspiration, say, because I've got a ton of folders on my Pinterest, and you can go through it all the time and see there's loads of stuff on there. There's not just crafting, there's cooking. It's a bit like YouTube, but in picture forms. Sometimes you'll find videos on there as well. And then when you go on there, you find the picture you want. This is how I do it. I download the image and then obviously I print it on my printer. So I've got that one and that one so far, right? At this point, you want to reinforce that hole, because once you got the layer on top, you won't be able to reinforce this hole. So do it while you've got the picture there. Right, now I haven't got some, I'm looking for some real tiny twine. Right, I'm going to cover that, this is why I got these coloured acetates out. So I have green, pink, yellow and white. What would you guys like me to do? And this is the last step for this. So I have white, yellow, green or pink. I'm going to use yellow on one of them. I'll move that to one side a minute on that. I'm going to use yellow on one of them. Well, what other colour would you like me to use on the other? I'm going to get, while I'm waiting on that, just going to find myself some real thin, I need thin piece of oh, you are. We'll go with this one. I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to cut it down. And cut this down, come on. Right. I'm going to use that bit there. Reinforce it. and it'll pop out the other side. Okay, there's that one. I'm going to put this one through as well. Be right back, rebooting my phone. Oh, my camera, dears. Right, there's the second one. Okay, right. I'm going to use yellow. And what you do, you take your plate, you bring your thread up. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just on the top of that. I'm going to use fabric glue for this. So I'm just going to pop a little bit, or you can put the ribbon on the back if you wanted to. I quite like mine on the front. You could put it on the back. I'm going to pop a little bit of fabric glue on each side so it stays in place for when I do the next step. So far I've done one, I think 1, 2, showed you the small tags, I've showed you this 3, or the napkins tags I've showed you. Oh yeah, the freezer paper I'm going to do next, and then that would be my 6, I think. That's my 6. Right. Every fairy journal has to have butterflies and flowers and animals. Oh gosh, yes, definitely agree with you there, Fiona. These would make good earrings. They would. They definitely would. Obviously, you might need to put wire instead of fabric because it might come off. So, I need a pin. Well, right. And I'm going to get a real thin brush, and I mean thin. Barely got any bristles on, this one has. And you literally put a good dollop of acetate over, because you'll be able to still see the image. This I might have put too much on. There you have. And do the edges as well of the bottle cap. There. You'll get like something that looks like so. So it's got a shimmer to it. Do this one. Now you could put, oh god, stickles on it. You could also put a clear dollop of Mod Podge, and the image then will look like a 3D effect. Used to make these all the time, making jewellery. Right. There's my 2. You see them? And when they dry, they'll be really nice. Hiya Pearl. Oh bless. I always forget Pearl's name as well, but I can never pronounce it. Chopa? No. Can't remember. Pretty right. So thank you, Debbie. So I've done one. I've showed you one. So far we've got one 2 knickknacks, 3 knickknacks, we've done 3, 4 knickknacks, and we've got 2 more to do. I think I've got the sacks, so I'm going to move this over there, put the lid on here, and I've got the freezer paper images to show you. As I said, he was doing 6. Right, so these are now dry. This would be the 5. So you will have, I'm going to cut around this, right, and I'm going to put, because this is a tag, that's why I've made it smaller. A load of mess on my table, so you'd have to bear with me while I move things and make a mess even more. Right, so I have, I won't get rid of that. I got one more thing to show you. Bear with me. Oh, 2 more things, but the other one is hardly anything. Okay, so we have these tags. Now this could be a little tag, so you could have, I'm going to just cut that edge off, and I'm going to put a hole at the top, and then I'm going to make this into a tag. And the way I do that is put a hole at the top, find a real nice pretty ribbon that you want to put through. I'm going to put this one through. Oh, bye Debbie! Come on, you know you want to go through. Could use a needle, but there we are. Okay. That would be my napkin tag using the pages. You could put sentiments on here, you could do anything you want to. So this is what I have at the moment, right? And then I've got that one as, if I want to put it on a page, I could put it on a page and then Mod Podge this on if I wanted to. So you've got fabric tags, you've got the bottle caps, the bottle embellishments. You've got the miniature, tiny, gorgeous little tags. That's using a different way to doing it. You've got the stenciling on a book page and the napkins. And you've got these acetate shapes that you'd like to do. Now, there is 2 more things I'd like to show you. One of them being, oh wait a sec, because everything is falling. One of them being a stamp. It's quick and easy. Where did I put my book? Oh, it's leaning on there. Right. So anything I make tonight will go in the pot for the challenge that I'm hosting on the fabric tags. Okay, so. No, actually, I'm going to put this in the journal pot of the fabric tag. Right. So the last one is this. Grab a butterfly stamp. You can use any stamp you want to use. And start punching butterflies out of it. Right, it should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 6. 6. I'm going to move that to the side. Okay. I'm going to use tacky glue for this. All you do with these, you put a little bit of tacky glue in the centre. I got a little bit, I should have enough. Now 6 if you cut 6 out, now it needs to be cut out on to make these kind of butterflies out on like newspaper articles or books even. So there's 1. So 6 will do you 3 because you need 2 for each butterfly. So like I said, everything I make tonight will go in the journal challenge. If you don't know what I mean by the journal challenge, it's one of my recent videos that I've done. There's 2 and then the last one, and then I've got one more thing to show you guys. My knickknacks for today, which I won't need my tacky glue for. Oops. There. So, can you imagine them on a page in a journal or page? They would look so beautiful just laying on your page. See? Right, I have one last thing to show you. Probably thinking, oh, wonder what it is, wonder what it is. Beautiful, thank you, Fiona. Right, I've used about 5 different brushes. Now, right at the very start of the video, I was cutting some, this is tracing paper. So I'm going to cut a section smaller again out of this. The size depends on the size you want it. Okay, it can be big, it can be small, it can be any size you want it to be. I'm going to go back to my napkins and I'm going to cut that image out. Trying to think the best way to cut this out because it's just leaving a border around this bird. Now you could use images like big, not napkin images, normal images if you wanted to. Switch scissors because I know there. So I'm going to put that just there like so. And don't forget, I'm doing this for journaling. It could be loaded envelope, it could be loaded purse, it could be anything you want it to be. Now I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to use Mod Podge for this. And I'm literally going to Mod Podge that bird onto the tracing paper. Right. Tracing paper over here. Oh, over here. And I'm just going to put the there just like so. So she sits quite nicely on there. And I'm going to just brush my Mod Podge just over the picture, not necessarily over the paper, just over the picture because it is napkin after all, and I don't want it to tear. Like I say, I hope you find this this video inspirational, and I hope it inspired you. I could have sat here and made a project with you tonight, but I didn't want to I wanted to mix it up. So I'm looking for my stamp. There's my stamp. And I'm looking for my walnut. I'm going to use Tim Holtz walnut stain for this. Now you could put it in your book like so, right? But because I wanted something different, I'm going to make sure that I got enough. And I'm using the old scripture. And I'm just going to go, let's put some more on my stamp. Or you could use a stencil. There. Again. Yeah, we're going to go there and there. And then I'm just going to do a little bit here. I want a little bit there, but I don't want it going on this side. So I'm going to take a little bit of kitchen roll. I thought what you did, take a little bit of kitchen roll, and I'm going to put some more ink on my stamp. And I'm going to just stamp it down. And then that stops it going on the side that I don't want to go on. So that would be my little six. So again, you could add, you could take away. I am going to finish this off, and I'm going to put something. I want to finish it off by putting something like woodlandy, something brown at the bottom. Either like beading, or let me see if I can find something. Oh, I know. No, yeah, maybe. Let me see. Just want to finish this off. You know what? So I'm gonna. Not quite. Not quite. Oh, you are. I've got the trim that Angie Brown gave me. So my little thin brush and fabric glue again, and I'm just gonna go run my brush along that bottom. Okay, because the trim Angie gave to me, she gave to me my pocket letter, stenciling what it's called, and I've taken it out and I'm using it in my projects. So I would put that in my junk journal or my folded envelope or anything. You can do it on parchment paper, not sure how well it would stick on wax paper. I've tried to stick a napkin pattern on freezer paper. Should we do it? Should we? I've tried it once and it didn't work out, but I can do it again. If you all want me to do it, I will. I'll sit here and do it with you. I've seen others do it. I went to do it. Sorry, I haven't done it. I went to do it and I thought, maybe not, maybe not. But if you want me to do it on wax paper for it to turn out, but those would be, I'll wait till everybody says yay or nay. I don't mind if you say no, because I've been on quite long tonight. I won't do it. But those would be my 6 little knickknacks. So you've got the butterflies that you could possibly add. Can you imagine if you added a butterfly there? Look. See how it brings it to life. You could put one of these in your junk journal out of acetate and add glitter and your butterflies to it, or even pictures. Your bottle caps with the clear acetate inside them. So there's 4 there. The fabric tags made out of napkins and old paged books. You've got the mini little napkin, which I love these because they're so tiny and minute, and you can put them in almost anything you want to put them in. Then you've got like bits of paper like this that you can write on. I've Mod Podged both sides of this, but you could leave one side blank to write on. And then I've got this. So I use an old page. I haven't Mod Podged the back because again, you could stick this on a page. You could put a tag on the back. There's loads you could do with this. But the top is actually done with a clear tissue, not the pattern one, and stamped on with your stamps using the Tim Holtz walnut stain. So those would be my 6 little knickknacks. That yeah, those would be my little 6 knickknacks. Actually, I've done more than 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've done 8. I've done 8, 7-ish. But I hope you really enjoyed that. Love all your ideas. Thanks for sharing them with us all. You're very welcome, Laurel. Some of the ideas are not mine. They are not. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, they're my ideas when I know they're not. I've seen a lady on YouTube do the napkin on a page. I don't know her name. I can't think offhand. But she used the Who page. And it's like I said before, you go onto YouTube and you find ways of making things easier for yourself. You sort of adapt them into your own style of craft. So what I did, I took what she had shared with us all and I adapted it into the way I craft. And I came up with stamping on napkins. She actually made a tag out of hers. That's what she actually did with hers. So I came up with like little miniature tags like this that I could put in my junk journal. I've also come up with like writables. So like I say, you adapt it. I've seen a lot of people do it on parchment paper, this idea. And I originally I used pictures. Now when I used pictures, it didn't have, like when you look at this, you would think that the image is stuck. You haven't added it on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But a picture, it looks as if it's been added on, and it kind of, because this is so thin, a picture would make it a bit, wouldn't have the same effect. And I did it with a picture. And I've seen some beautiful people use, like Laurel said, wax paper. And I sat down one night and I was playing with my stamps. And I love my, that was my dog, I do apologise. I love this stamp that I had from the range. I love using it all the time. And I sat there one day and I'm doing the journal and I'm thinking I could adapt that into my journaling. So that's how that idea came around. Like I say, the tags originally not my idea at all. The bottle caps, I used to make these when I did jewellery. Oh God, years and years and years ago. And I used to put them on dangles. And this is why I said about you could adapt these to any picture you wanted. And I used to put miniature clocks in them and put them into houses, miniature houses. So again, that's what I came up with a couple of years ago. The butterflies, I sat there one day and I was messing about and I showed Angie Paisley and she went, you've got to show us how you've made them. And I did it with watercolour pens and prick brushes and that kind of stuff. But when you sit and you play with your stamps, and I've done it with leaves, you know, raised it with 2 instead of just 1, it gives it more of a depth. It makes them jump off the page, makes them a bit different. And this, again, this idea came around because, again, I'd seen people use the wax paper and stuff like this. And I thought, I wonder whether you could use it on acetate. And like I said, I showed you right at the very start. I can't find it on my table at the minute because it's a complete utter mess. But I actually did mine on with a fairy, which you saw right at the very start. And if I could find it, I would show you. No, I can't find it. But there it is. I haven't finished. I haven't cut this out. See? So you can do it with a fairy. So, love all your ideas. Very pretty, Colette. Thank you, Pearl. Fiona says, hugs everyone. Thanks, Colette. Take care, lovely ladies. Bye, Fiona. Hope you have a lovely night. Little books, was it? Yes, Pearl. Definitely. Do you mean... I don't understand what you mean by that. Little books. Did I use little books? Have a great day. And she says, I love what you've showed us tonight. Nice chatting with you ladies, and I hope to chat next week. Thank you, my friend, for showing us your crafts. And tell Chris I say good night. Good night. God bless, Angie. Hope you have a lovely night. So those are my sort of knickknacks that you can use in your projects. Everything I've made tonight will go in the junk journal challenge. It's a side challenge that I'm having on my YouTube channel. If you want to take part, it's in one of the recent videos, and this will be put into that prize draw. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm glad I've had some lovely feedback of you as I was going, and like I said, I could have sat here and made a project, but I really wanted to make something that you could add to your project. Next week I will make something next week. I'll be back to making a project. But let me know if you found this useful, making little knickknacks and embellishments. Because if you do, and I get feedback and you found it useful, then maybe I'll do another video on how I create different knickknacks. Little Bookshare channel, she did napkins. Is that where you've seen them? I can't remember, but I know that originally wasn't my idea. Oh god, she does it on a table. She does it on a table, and the table's sort of painted, and from where she's done her crafts. She's outside. Is that what she's called? I can't remember. I'm awful with names. I'm really bad. She's outside and the table's like full of paint from where she's done her craft, and she's really super talented. She's so super talented. I can't think of her name. If that's the lady, then yes, that's where I saw it. But I honestly, I can't put my finger on the lady's channel. No, that's not Little Books. And then I haven't got a clue. I will see if I can find the link, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the comments, because yeah, like I say, it wasn't originally my idea, but I've broken it down to my style of craft. So I hope you really enjoyed that. Thank you all for joining. Hit that thumbs up if you really liked it, and I will see you all next week. I'm sorry this was a bit short and it was wasn't making something special, but I always find like the little things, I love the details in craft, and I always find the little things can be the most difficult to find for inspiration. That's what I think anyway. So I'm going to love and leave you all. I'm going to put all this to the side for the winner for the junk journaling, and I will speak to you all next week at Monday at 9 o'clock next week. Have a lovely week, and I will catch up with you all then. No star. Good night.